news is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Tertola Pier Park, NV Salon, Spa, Nail and Barbershops, the Wellness Center Medical and Behavioral Health Clinics, HOV Medical, and Digicel. Sign up for Digicel Plus Home Light Bundles, faster internet, movies and sports. A moment of silence. Premier and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Whitley on Thursday, January 18 at Jos Van Dyke, joined by a number of legislators, education officials, and residents from across the territory, celebrating a new chapter of school life for teachers and students on Jos Van Dyke. But the moment of silence was in order for a young man who tragically lost his life when he suffered a seizure, causing him to fall into the sea. At that ceremony, Premier Whitley stirred up the conversation of legalizing marijuana for medical purposes.
Of Kenroy Shinnery, who tragically lost his life just a few days ago. We certainly had a rough start to this year with the individuals we've lost. And that one really hit me hard because I had numerous conversations with that young man, even about his seizures, because he was asking me when would we get the marijuana bill legalized, because it helps him with seizures. And for me it's very tragic that we can't access the medical benefits of that plant for things like preventing seizures, which it's very effective in doing. And when I heard that he had a seizure on the boat, my heart really dropped.
Well, before becoming a legislator, Premier had been a strong advocate for medical marijuana, and he used the opportunity to push for it when entering government. Let's reflect on what he had to say almost 4 years ago.
Okay. Marijuana has been recognized all over the world right now as a medicine. Marijuana is a medicine. Marijuana has been used to treat a number of ailments and illnesses which are prevalent right here in the Virgin Islands. I'm talking about cancer. Okay. You have asthma, which a lot of persons know about already.
At that time, he also alluded to another example to justify his advocacy.
The other reasons how we want to help persons is because of social justice. I just spoke about a number of ailments that cannabis helps with. There's a judge from Florida, a retired judge by the name of Doug Bench, and he used to prosecute persons for marijuana-related crimes. He sent about 311 persons to prison for marijuana. But then he himself became sick. He got COPD, which I believe stands for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Mm-hmm. And they gave him about 2 years to live. So his wife, without him knowing, got some cannabis oil. And when he first discovered this cannabis oil, he didn't want to use it. But then his wife threatened to leave him unless he used it. So every night he would put a drop of cannabis oil under his tongue. And that helped to cure his COPD. The cancer went into remission. And he became an advocate for the use of marijuana for medical purposes. So he went from sending persons to jail for marijuana really to advocating for the legalization of marijuana. There's millionaires and billionaires across the world, and for a product that's really helping persons overcome their illnesses.
The Cannabis Licensing Act of 2020 has been with the governor since its passage in the House of Assembly in July of 2020. Passing through the hands of two governors, Augustus J.U. Jaspert and John G. Rankin. The mantle will be passed on to the third governor, Daniel Proust, who is set to be sworn in on Monday, January 29. But what Rankin had to say about the bill during the early days of taking up office?
There were two pieces of cannabis legislation which were passed last year. One is on the legalization issue. That's still under consideration. As you will know, there are debates on the pros and cons of legalization of marijuana and legalization of its use. And I don't think it's an easy issue to come to an absolutely firm conclusion on one way or the other. The other bill relates to medical marijuana. I think that's a different debate. And on that one, I hope that a way forward can be found. So medical marijuana is lawful in the United Kingdom, and it's regulated in accordance with the requirements of the United Nations International Narcotics Conventions. So what we need for the legislation here is to have a licensing arrangement and regulation set up, which would also ensure that compliance with the international requirements to make sure that medical marijuana is administered and produced safely. And I'm keen to encourage an effective conversation between the relevant agencies here and their opposite numbers in the UK, so that we can make sure those regulations and licensing arrangements are in place. So I certainly hope we can make progress in that area.
Should the bill be assented to, it will enable the licensed cultivation, processing, importation, exportation, and sale of cannabis for certain purposes, largely medical and therapeutic. But what's the holdup? We will continue to follow the story to bring you the details. With this JTV News Update, Kathy Richards.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.
Everyone looks to the future, but no one truly knows what the future holds.
The number of people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes could increase by 49% by 2050. Let it be known that we all have a 30% chance of developing hypertension.
Globally, more than 300 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
More than 60,000 young adults aged 20 to 39 are diagnosed with cancer each year. Obesity leads to problems such as stroke, heart disease, and kidney failure.
No matter your race, age, or color, we are all at risk.
These diseases can be managed or prevented if caught early.
But with the right medicine and the right doctors to keep us on a path to live a robust and healthy life,
we will live well.